Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Welcome to a new edition of the College Cinephile. As always, it's your host, M. Rubio, and it's just going to be me for this segment as we talk about the top picks of May of 2017. And unlike last month, there will actually be movies coming out this month. Let's start with the big one that's coming out on May 5th, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, a comedy film that was so good that the Suicide Squad ripped it off later on. From what I saw of the trailers, a lot of the movie shows a lot of promise. It seems going to be like more of the same of the first one, which is fine with me since I was a big fan of the first one. It's coming out May 5th, as always, and I'm excited to see what they explore with the universe and space. Lots and lots of space and CGI and space. Raven, can you put like just Guardians of the Galaxy footage of just like all the space that's in Guardians of the Galaxy? It's absurd. It's a CGI bomb fest. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited for what they're gonna explore, and let's move on to the next movie, which is King Arthur and the Legend of. The way the thing is, Movie Insider's title, they cut off the title, but it's King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which is like the most generic title ever. I don't think anyone's excited for this movie. I'm not. It's like the Ben-Hur of this year. Not the good Ben-Hur, but the 2016 Ben-Hur. This if you look at the poster, it's just like the most generic, gritty, like typical movie poster you can like imagine. It's like so dull. Like this is gonna be like the biggest bomb of this year, unless somehow it's gonna be good, which I highly doubt. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I thought Edge of Tomorrow was gonna be bad. I thought Man from U.N.C.L.E. was gonna be bad, and both of those movies turned out to be great. But same director exactly. I think. I don't know. I didn't research. I just look at the titles like, okay, let's just talk about that for a bit. Same thing like the movie Snatched, which is a new Amy Schumer movie. I'm not really a big fan of Amy Schumer, but I guess it has a decent premise of a decent comedy premise of like two people go into an exotic location and things happen. Very various shenanigans that happen. I don't know if it'll be funny. It's Amy Schumer. I'm not really a big fan, so I can't really judge on her comedy very well. So we'll be moving on to the next big film that's coming out in May 19th, which is Alien Covenant. I'm not a big Alien fan. We'll let Sebastian talk about that in a later date. But what I am excited for is the new Diary of the Wimpy Kid movie. What's the name of this one? There's like 50 Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies, so it's hard to keep up anymore. But this one is called Diary of the Wimpy Kid: The Long Call, which is like a summer road trip movie from what I've got from the trailer. I think they even got a new cast too. I think they replaced the main character of Greg with a completely new actor. We'll see how it goes. Again, like I haven't consumed any Diary of the Wimpy Kid, any related media for like the past couple of years or so. I can't think of the last time. I think I was still in community college when that was going on. When I was still into it. I think I've kind of just like grown out of it. But we'll see. Hopefully, I wish this new movie well, because it's a big part of my childhood. It's like it's like nostalgia. But what isn't nostalgia is the new Baywatch movie that's coming out in May 25th. It's going to be starring not David Hasselhoff and not that generic, Pamela Anderson? Not Pamela Anderson and not David Hasselhoff. But it does have Zac Efron, and it has the girl from the Percy Jackson films that are terrible. I'm excited for. I'm honestly excited for the Baywatch movie, if only for the fact it feels like it's going to be satirizing how absurd the Baywatch show is, and so I feel like we're going to get like a Man from U.N.C.L.E. type self-satire where it's just like it's not gonna take itself seriously. It's not gonna be serious in any way. It's like, I mean, the trailer has like explosions and like Michael Bay effects, like, and I'm pretty sure that didn't happen in the Baywatch show. So I feel like there's gonna be a sense of self-awareness that's gonna be going around in that movie, which is what I personally like. Up next is the new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which is Dead Man Tells No Tale. That's coming out in May 26. I haven't cared about Pirates of the Caribbean since the third one. I don't even know what this one's going to be about. I don't even know what they're going to be doing. All I know is Johnny Depp is going to be in it, and it's the 5th movie in the franchise. I mean, I got a poster from a contest, so I have a movie poster, this movie poster in my car. We'll see how that goes. I wish it well, because like it's an interesting. I like pirate movies. I mean, this is the only pirate franchise I actually liked. I mean, I did like Captain Phillips, but that's a completely different movie. And that's basically it. It's just more. That's basically all the mainstream movies that are coming out this month. You should. I don't know. If any of that stuff interests you, you should go watch it, because I have no control over you. But anyway, I hoped my opinion has swayed you in any shape or form. Up next, we'll have more College Cinephile.
Welcome back to the College Cinephile. Today we're going to go more in depth about our top picks for May. I'm Sydney Hatfield, and with me is Gabrielle Sam.
Hey.
So for me personally, I am so excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I agree. The first one was just amazing,
Yeah.
so I have such high expectations for this
Exactly.
next
Like the trailers make it look so
one.
good.
Amazing, and
Yeah.
then Rocket and Baby Groot are always my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just great. Like, who's your favorite character?
That's kind of hard to pick. It's either, I mean, I like, Rocket, Groot, and Peter Quill. Like, they're all so much fun.
Right?
Peter Quill's probably more because I really like Chris Pratt.
Yep.
But they're all so hilarious together. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies. So yeah, the expectations are definitely set
So high.
very high.
I agree. And in the first film, like, my least favorite character had to be like Drax. I don't know why. I just felt he was like placed oddly in the film. But hopefully, like, towards the end of the film, I definitely liked him more. So
Yeah.
I think going into this next movie, I like him as much as the rest of the characters.
Yeah, in the trailers he looks absolutely hilarious.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
He's just great. So the plot of this film is basically they're just struggling to stay together and fight more battles that they have and, get through it all, get
And
a
Peter
victory.
Quill's trying to like find his dad.
Yes, and his dad, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, speaking of his dad, who is
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, right? And another film that's coming out in May is Snatched, and his wife is Goldie Hawn, and I'm really excited to see that one as well because I like comedy films sometimes, and this one I laughed so hard at the trailer, so I can't wait.
Yeah, Amy Schumer is great.
Yes.
And personally, I'm not so much excited for this one, but I mean, I'll probably see it. Like, it looks funny.
Right? Yeah, like I definitely don't mind because it's like, I don't know, I like the films where they go on like trips far away and then something bad happens. Like,
Yeah.
it's just always the
And
funniest
it's
one.
just like insane situations that they're trying to get out of.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always great. And lastly, what's the next film?
Baywatch.
Baywatch, right. I can't believe I forgot. Baywatch is going to be an amazing film. Again, it made me laugh, which is very odd because I don't care for comedy that much, but it's great. So are you excited? Like, what makes you most excited?
Like the cast. The cast looks great. It has Dwayne Johnson. It has Zac Efron. And I feel like both of them together, like, that is
Great.
going to be comedy gold.
Eye candy, I agree. Right?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
They're hot too. That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really excited to see Priyanka because I love Quantico, and to see her in this film is just amazing because I think it's like her first like in America blockbuster film, so that's gonna be great.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it'll be, because, like, I mean, I haven't seen the original Baywatch
Yeah, me
series.
either. So. We have nothing really to base
Yeah.
base it off of, so
the
it's
only-
going to be great
yeah,
to us.
The only knowledge of Baywatch, the original Baywatch that I have is from Friends,
Yeah,
and that is that they're running in slow motion on the beach.
all the time.
Yeah, but in this movie, you know, they're trying to, you know, something's going on. They're trying to like solve a crime, and so I think, you know, that'll be an entertaining aspect.
Yes,
and,
and the comedy added
the
to
comedy-
it makes
the
it a lot
comedy,
better.
yes.
Yeah,
And
so.
like, you know, in the trailer, you see that they're kind of poking fun at the old show.
Right, with the slow motion
Yeah,
and
like,
everything.
Does it look like she's always running in slow motion?
Right, and I feel
Yeah.
like there's going to be a lot of good one-liners
Yeah.
that just make you laugh and think about them after the movie too.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be just a good movie, you know,
Yeah,
good laugh
definitely.
movie. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that was our top 3 picks for May. That's all we have today. So we'll see you later.
Hello and welcome back to the College Cinephile. I am, of course, Sebastian Reyes. And you may notice I'm a little bit, well, maybe not notice, but I'm a little bit lower to the ground than normal. The reason for that is because I completely forgot I have green on the shirt I am currently wearing. And the reason my arms are in front of me is because the green on is completely fading out. Like so. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And as Marcos mentioned a little bit earlier before, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Alien Covenant today. Alien Covenant is my personal top pick for May for many reasons, but just a quick overview. It is being directed by Sir Ridley Scott. I just want to get that Sir in. And it stars Danny McBride, Michael Fassbender, and Catherine Watterson. And I don't know a lot of, out of the cast, Catherine Watterson is the one I know least about. I remember she was in Michael Clayton, that movie with George Clooney that came out in mid-2000s about really... I saw her in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That movie is still pretty new, so I'm not going to spoil anything for that, but she was indeed in it. I can confirm that. But I'm mainly excited for Alien Covenant because this is going to be a direct sequel to Prometheus that came out in 2012. And Prometheus was pretty divisive among the fan communities for one reason or another, either because a lot of people were expecting more out of it or because they were unsatisfied because they felt it left too many questions unanswered or things along those lines. And my response to that is kind of the same response I have to people that say the 2014 Godzilla movie didn't have enough Godzilla in it. Because if you've seen the original Godzilla from 1956, you would know that movie also barely has any Godzilla in it. And similar to Prometheus, if you were unsatisfied with all the answers or the questions that didn't have answers to it, I think people forget just because the first Alien came out in 1979 has had, at this point, 3 sequels, a prequel, and now Alien Covenant will be a second prequel to that series. So in total, if you include Alien Covenant, it's going to have 5 additional movies to it. So it's had plenty of time to answer the questions that were unanswered from the first one. So, again, if you were unsatisfied by Prometheus because of the question thing, I can almost guarantee to rest assured that they will be answered in Alien Covenant. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that right off the back. And second, it also, like I said, it also stars Danny McBride, which is probably the most interesting cast choice to me. It's similar to putting John C. Reilly in Kong Skull Island, where you take an actor mostly very known for their comedic work. Danny McBride, probably his last 2 most well-known roles, or at least in my mind personally, were that of Tropic Thunder, where he starred alongside the likes of Jack Black, Ben Stiller, and Robert Downey Jr., and then also the movie Your Highness, which I don't think anyone besides me actually saw, which starred James Franco, figures, as well as, for some reason, Natalie Portman. So this will be his first, I think his first non-comedic role in a very long time. He was also in Pineapple Express, can't forget that. No, he was actually really good. Also with James Franco and Seth Rogen in that. So this is going to be his first non-comedic role. I'm sure he'll probably be the comic relief of the film, but just going off the trailer, he seems to have a fair amount of action sequence along with Catherine Watterson. So I'm very much looking forward to this film. And a lot of people have also asked, like, what will separate this from Prometheus and what will separate that from the other Alien movies? Like, what will make this movie just not another, okay, well, like, let's take a dive back into the Alien pool, like, for a few hours. Like, let's dive back into the old Alien well. And I think just go off the trailers, I know for a fact that we're going to be introduced to a brand new type of xenomorph, the backburster, which I don't know how that will go about in terms of with the current xenomorph. We kind of know the formula of that. Egg, face hugger, face rape leads to belly burster, to what we currently know as the modern xenomorph. The backburster, I don't know if it'll go along the same evolutionary line or not in terms of we'll start as an egg and then face hugger, and this is just an alien that comes out of the back. But from what I've seen, they've been trying to keep the design of the backburster xenomorph. I think they're trying to call it the Ubermorph, if I'm not mistaken. That might just be from Dead Space. I'm not 100%. Or no, the Neomorph. Excuse me. This is the Neomorph. They've been trying to keep the design under wraps. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot, almost even more emaciated than the current alien design is. And it's going to be a lighter palette, almost kind of a tan or beige color hue to it. And I think the dome of it will end in a point, as opposed to the current xenomorph, which has, of course, the well-established elongated dome look to it. Specifically because this is going to need to pop out of the back, so it's going to have a pointed head, so it can pop out of the back more, out of the spinal column more easily. And you see a little bit of that in the trailer, where you see Catherine Waters has a few people locked in quarantine, and they want her to let them out. She's refusing to let them out, and then you see this poor sucker that's going, and you see like his like spinal column like slowly pushing out of his back. It's really awesome to look at. And if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like, just from the trailer, it's kind of hard to get to gauge size on this. But it looks like the primary old-fashioned xenomorph that is going to be in this might actually be a Praetorian type, which I am very much a nerd, and I'm very much into both Alien and Predator lore, to the point where I've read several solo comics, whether their canonicity can be spotty at best, but I've read several comics detailing the origins of Predator, the Yautja, and of the xenomorphs back to their home planet. And when you get into that kind of lore, you understand that there are different types of xenomorphs. And the xenomorph itself is actually its base form will be based on whatever animal is impregnated by the facehugger. So the standard xenomorph that we've come to know and love since 1979 is the result of a facehugger impregnating a human host. That's why you also have, with AVP Requiem, which I'll talk about next week, stay tuned, you have the Pred alien, which is based off of facehugger impregnated a predator, and then that will also be different if the facehugger impregnates a bear or a dog or an ox as in Alien 3. So, but a Praetorian is kind of almost an elite guard. It's kind of an elite soldier. Whereas we all know in the traditional hierarchy of aliens, you have the drones, the normal xenomorphs, then you have the queen. Well, there are a couple of different variations in between those two. The Praetorian being one of those. Well, the Praetorian is basically an extremely large, almost alpha male xenomorph, specifically designed to guard the queen in very hostile situations. And what makes the alien great, in my opinion, is that it has that almost evolutionary elasticity to it, in the sense that if a colony of xenomorph eggs is on a planet, but there is no queen, one egg will actually force evolution, so there will be a queen, or one established xenomorph will in turn become a new queen to give rise to a brand new batch of eggs. The Praetorian is the same thing. The Praetorian will evolve from a basic male drone to become this much larger, much stronger, much tougher Xeno to protect the queen. And this going off, like I said, this going off all from the trailer, because the movie doesn't come out for several more weeks. That's what it very much looks like, a Praetorian xenomorph, just going off of the scene where it jumps on the ship where Dan McBride is trying to like head smash to get to his cockpit. It just looks much larger than your standard xenomorph. So I'm really hoping that in this movie we'll not only get the first canon entry of the Praetorian xenomorph, but we'll also get the new backburster. And like I said, I've been a huge fan of this franchise for many, many years, and I'm very much excited to see what Ridley Scott has to offer in this new universe. And I also want to clean up one more thing in terms of clarification, where I've found out a few people are confused because of the title. Like a lot of people were expecting this to be like Prometheus 2, Electric Boogaloo, or something along those lines. So something to signal that this is indeed a direct sequel to Prometheus. Because you throw the title Alien in it, a lot of people say like, well, is this a sequel to Alien 4 or to Resurrection? Is this the new one that was supposed to come out and erase Alien 3 and Resurrection? No, this is indeed going to be an exact sequel to Prometheus. The sequel that is going to erase Aliens 3 and 4 and create a new canon in terms of Aliens, and the new one, that will be coming out in 2018, 2019, and will be directed by Neil Blomkamp. And on that note, I think I've talked at length of why I am very much looking forward to this movie for several reasons. And I want to thank everyone for viewing, for subscribing, and we will see you again. Thank you for joining me.